Hi everyone, it's Jenny. So I'm going to be making for the very first time some clear gesso today. Now I saw Stacey's video. She's Pinkpoodlecrafts on YouTube. I saw a very recent video of hers where she showed how to make this clear gesso, and she explains in great detail how good the clear gesso is to use for quite a few different things. So I highly recommend that you follow the link, which I'll leave in the subscription box down below, to her video and go and check it out, because I'm sure she explains it far better than I could ever do myself. So the basic idea is following her recipe. I'll just explain this too. I thankfully managed to get a supply of this. Is what you need for one of the ingredients. It's fine white marble dust. It's also calcium carbonate. It's other name for it, I suppose. I thought I was going to have trouble getting this here in Australia, but thankfully my husband looked up on the internet and found a supplier. For you people who live in Australia, you're able to get it at some art supply stores. Probably the larger art stores are more likely to have it. My husband found a supplier down in Geelong, because we live in Victoria, and they sent it to us in the mail. So, and it's a pretty reasonable price. So, yay! I'm really happy I got some. I want to try this. So the basic idea is you mix glue, water, and the marble dust together, and it gives you a gesso with what they call a tooth. So it makes it a little bit rough, so that you can put it down, and then you can still use things like pastels and crayons and things like that over the top of your page. And Stacey showed that using those crayons and pastels and things works far better on the clear gesso, because it's got something to grab a hold of with the dust, the powder in there. So yeah, anyway, like I said, she explains it way better, so go have a look at her video. It's really well worth it. So I need 1 cup of this glue I'm just using, which is a basic white glue, PVA glue. Really cheap, cheap bottle of that. That's really good. So I'll put that in the jar. It'll take a while to tip out. Amuse yourselves while we wait. Yeah, I'm back wearing my sleeve again, unfortunately. It just officially became summer 2 days ago, and it's been freezing cold. Even though it's nice and sunny today, I still feel really cold, so I've had to put my sleeve back on to stop my arm hurting so much, because the cold makes my pain a lot worse. And unfortunately it's looking like the this new medication I'm trying is not really doing much for me. So I'm going to have, I've got one more option left. I need a 1/4 cup of water here. I've got a little bit too much, so I'll make sure I don't use the full amount. I should have tipped some back, shouldn't I? Oh well. A tad more and that'll do it. Oh, no, don't get the spoon wet. Yeah, anyway, just waffling about my medication to fill in time, I suppose. So now we need 4 heaped tablespoons of this. She said 4 or 5. Why am I smoothing it off? She said 4 or 5, but I know that our tablespoon measurements are larger than those in America. So I'm going to use 4. And she says heaped tablespoons, but I'll kind of rather have less and add a little bit more than to have too much, because she said if you have too much of the powder in there, it won't dry clear. It'll have like a what do you call it, a sort of a white film to it, and I don't want that. I want this to be able to dry perfectly clear so you can't see anything. And I mainly want to use it to be able to seal pages, because according to a number of different people I've been watching on YouTube, the clear gesso is the best thing to use to seal your page so that you don't get any stickiness at all. It leaves it with a bit of a rough texture, but that's fine. You don't see anything, it's just the feel of it. So if you don't go around rubbing your pages too much, it shouldn't bother you. I can see there's a few little lumps in there, just tiny ones. Stacey says it's a good idea to sift it first, or even blend it to smooth it out more, but of course I'm too lazy to do that. I thought I'll mix it a lot and see if I can blend it smoothly, and if I'm not 100% satisfied with this batch and you know how it feels, I can always blend the next lot. So I just thought I'd show this on camera to show you guys that this is a fabulous recipe. Stacey, again, she's Pinkpoodlecrafts. She's the originator of this recipe. She's said that she searched and not found anyone else who has done anything on this. So yeah, she's the only one, or she's the first one to have done it. I think Shamee Dixon might have done one, you know, following on from Stacey's video. But Stacey's definitely the great person who thought this up. She also has recipes for other things that you can make too, like white gesso, black gesso, modelling paste, and she sells it too if you know, particularly if you live in America. I don't know about selling overseas. It'd be a bit hard to sell a jar of something really heavy. But if you live in America, it probably wouldn't be too hard to ship it, get her to make you some, and save you the hassle. At the moment it just looks like a big jar of glue with a few lumps in it. Can you see? I'll try not, not really good at getting on camera lately. Try not to get too close because it goes blurry. Can you see there's a few air bubbles and lumps in there? That's alright. The bubbles should go out of it if I let it settle. Hopefully. And if I just keep mixing it for a while, I might crush most of the... Anyway, just as a tester, I was going to say a taste test then, but you don't want to eat it. Let's take some of my scratch off paper and paint some of this on and let that dry while I'm still mixing, and then I can see afterwards how it looks and feels. Ooh. Alright, so I've put some just over this area here where the blue is. Just let that sit there and dry. Of course, it might have been better if I put it in a jar that wasn't square, and I'd be able to smash the small lumps against the side a little easier. That comes from not thinking ahead. Another case of learn by your mistakes. Actually, it's feeling a little cool on my hand. My husband's out again today. He's gone to... Oh, he's home actually. Surprised me. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Now, where was I? Yeah, okay, it's dry now, and I've had a feel of it, and it feels very, very slightly rough, but still kind of smooth, if that makes any sense. It's not like a really rough, gritty, horrible feeling. You can just feel it a bit. So, and actually up here I can't feel much of it at all, so I'm wondering whether I've put enough in there, and I might actually put 1 more tablespoon in, but I'll just do a flat one. Hopefully that will make it just that little bit better. Yeah. So I was saying before, my husband, before he came home and surprised me, has been down at the zoo trying to get some different animal shots. We have 3 different types of zoos here. We've got the one that he normally goes to in the, well, it's not completely city centre, but it's close to the city centre. And there's one called the Healesville Sanctuary, which is about an hour and a half, maybe 2-hour drive east of here. And the one he went to today is an open range zoo at Werribee, which is about a half-hour drive west from here. And he went there early this morning and has just come back now. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. So he said first time he's been down there, and he said there weren't as many animals as he was hoping he would be able to see. And they have a like a safari tour bus ride you can go on. It takes you around to see the animals out in the open range. and unfortunately he didn't get to go on that because it was full up with school children doing school excursions, and their schedule is that they only have the little tours once every hour. So he tried to get on one and they said, sorry, it's full up, you'll have to wait for another hour. And he said, don't think I'm going to do that. Wait for an hour. So he just wandered round and looked at other things that were easier to see, and then he came home and hopefully he got a few good photos of what he did see. Alright, I'm going to stop mixing that and chattering. We'll try this again. I was gone quite a while chatting with my husband about his day, and when I came back, the half a page, part of the page I painted was still really wet, so it looks like this is a bit of a slow dryer with this stuff mixed in it, because normally PVA dries up pretty quickly even if it's mixed with water. So I'm going to just see if that's made a difference by just doing a little bit up in the top corner here. You can see what I'm doing. Not that it's that exciting watching me brush a page. Oops. I better close this lid before I either tip it all over everywhere, which would be typical of me, or it dries out. Alright, I think I will go and clean that up straight away before that gets stuck in there. Dry this off and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. So it's all dry, and yeah, it does feel that little bit better that I added that little bit more. So what I might do is something that Stacey did, is where she showed an example of the difference of when you use a pastel or a pencil or a crayon on plain paper and then on the gesso, what a difference it makes. So I might try that and show you if you can see. So I'll just rub a square there and then I'll do it up here. Can't really see a lot of difference. There's without the gesso and that's with the gesso. I think maybe it looks a little bit darker. Yeah. Stacey's demonstration was a lot better, I think, because she didn't have something in the background. So, but yeah, it's going to be good. Hopefully for keeping my my pages non-sticky. Let's do some on a plain side, just to see if I can see a difference. So I'll do a little tiny patch here. I'll dry that really quick. Alright, I've got a pencil and some crayons and some pastels. I'll try and get roughly the same colour. No, I don't have the pink in these. I'll try purple. So the gesso's just there. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll just do a little bit of pencil. And then on the gesso, oh yeah, that's made a big difference. And I'm not pressing very hard at all. I'm putting the same amount of pressure. Oh, these crayons aren't very good. I'll have to press these a bit hard to get any colour on the paper. See if it makes a difference with the gesso. I'll show you closer up in a minute. Yeah, that's much better. I hope that's not too close. I notice sometimes it gets a bit blurry. Can you see here where I've done, get in frame, pencil without gesso and with the gesso, pastel without the gesso and with the gesso, and crayon without and with. Probably if I pressed harder with the crayon I'd get a much better result down here as well. Got some still there. I've only used a tiny bit. I'll just go over that. I'm still pressing really hard on the paper now. Just had to change the batteries. As I was trying to show you, I can't see in the viewfinder properly, sorry. It's made a huge difference with the crayon. So I really like that. If I want to use these crayons, which I very rarely use at all because they're mostly wax and very little colour comes out of them because they're really cheap ones. But if it means using the clear gesso and then the crayon over the top, I can get colour out of them. That's fantastic. And the pencil as well. The pencils come up really good. So that's great. So you can use it for not just a page sealer, but as Stacey explains in a much better way than I do, that you really need this stuff if you want to get a much better outcome with your supplies, with your come on, my puss. With the things that you use to draw. And look, I just took a lot of time to put these back in by opening the end, pulling it out, putting it in, put it up, tipped it up, and they fell out the hole. I'm gonna go. Sorry this wasn't a terrifically fabulous video, but I had fun. See you later.